Greetings, fellow creatures of the night. My name is Nando Sam, and I'd like to personally welcome you to Nando Sam's horror show and some science. Sorry, just a little joke there. I'm not really affiliated with Nickelodeon, so sorry for pulling your leg. Anyways, today's dark and musty video is dedicated to some of the spookiest, creepiest moments in the history of video games. Now you all know me, I have a deep appreciation for all things scary and all things video game, so I decided to plunge down into the abyss and emerge from the deep, as I'm known to do, with 5 of the spookiest moments from video game history that will chill your bones, scare your sister, and make you spill your Sunday milk. I'll warn yous before we begin, small children should not watch this video, as it may be too much for their sensibilities to handle. Although this is a gaming channel, I am not a child, nor do I make content for children, so you must exercise responsibility when watching these videos, as I cannot afford to be held legally accountable for your actions. Irresponsible parents will not be tolerated, especially not after the last video. Sorry, I don't mean to bring the mood down, but I can't have that kind of stress in my life anymore. It's starting to scare me, Mum, when y'all do stuff like what you did, and you know what I'm talking about, and I don't appreciate it. Anyways, without further ado, I present to you Nando Sam's top 5 spookiest moments in gaming history. Number 5. Silent Hill Closet. James Sutherland is a character in the video game Silent Hill, who is known for wearing a green jacket and walking through fog. As if that wasn't scary enough already, the fog also happens to be full of monsters known as Pyramid Heads. In one scene, James is attempting to get into his apartment, only to discover that his hotel walls have degraded beyond human comprehension. He looks to his left only to discover that a pyramid head has turned his girlfriend into legs. As she tries to get away, James attempts to run away, but ends up accidentally locking himself in the closet. The pyramid head suddenly gets confused and starts having a grand mal seizure, which allows James an opportunity to pull out a gun and attempt to subdue the now neurologically compromised pyramid head. The bullets then cause the pyramid head to sober up from his seizure, and he leaves the room to go to hospital. Luckily, James has survived this encounter, but at what cost? His girlfriend is now just legs, and he will never be able to have a conversation with her again. Now I know what many of you are thinking, that you'd love to be in James' position now, but personally I find that incredibly dehumanizing to women, and I don't agree with it. However, because it is a position some people might find favourable, it only makes the number 5 spot. I understand this will be a shock to many people and might be considered a bit of a hot take, but I personally don't think having your girlfriend turned into legs deserves to be considered the scariest moment in gaming history. Anyways, on to number 4. Number 4. Amnesia: The Dark Descent, Bug Room. This one scared me so much I had Alt F4 out of Google Chrome and I couldn't remember what tabs I had open, so I just had to accept that. In this game you play as a man named Amnesia, as he begins his dark descent into the castle of Brandenburg, to discover the truth of why he seems to be going crazy. Most of the game is spent wandering down castle hallways and nothing actually ever hurts Amnesia, but because he's suffering from psychedelic hallucinations, he keeps seeing and hearing things happening that aren't real, like voices in his head and candles. This all comes to a head later in the game when he enters a seemingly normal cupboard, but it turns out to be a roach cupboard. Although it's not really a roach cupboard, he's just going crazy. But I was so scared, like I said, I couldn't watch anymore. So unfortunately, I didn't get to experience more of this amazing game. I highly recommend this game to anyone who wants to know what a psychedelic experience is like, because although I have no experience myself, I think this game is a great representation of what it would be like. Number 3, the Wendigo. So I actually couldn't decide which was scarier, the Wendigo cameo from Until Dawn, or the Wendigo cameo from Fallout 76, or the Wendigo cameo from Borderlands 3, or the Wendigo cameo from Seeking Evil, or the Wendigo cameo from Outriders, or the Wendigo cameo from Scribblenauts. So I decided to give the award for the number 3 spot in this list to the Wendigo himself. I don't know how they found this lad and why he keeps showing up, but anyone who gets to the gaming industry this knackered to put him in all these games wins my vote for the number 3 spot on this list. Number 2, Mermaids Big Scav. So one time I was washing dishes at my mate Jazz's house, and I noticed on the plate that I'd just taken from him that there was this big weird thing that looked like a burnt piece of pizza on the plate, and I had no idea what it was. So I showed him and he looked at it, and then he looked at his elbow and he said to me, "Ah, Christ mate, that's a scab from the wound I got from skating last week." And I felt sick to my stomach and I didn't know what to do because I didn't want to touch it, but I knew I had to do something. So I grabbed a fish slice and lifted the scab off the plate so I could wash it, but then the fish slice was dirty, so I had to grab a butter knife to lift it off the fish slice so I could wash that as well. But of course now I had a new problem, which was that the butter knife had the scab on it, and I spent the next hour or so at Jazz's washing all his cutlery because I didn't know what to do with the scab, until I realized that I could just use a dirty piece of cutlery to pick up the scab so I could throw it away. But since I already cleaned all the cutlery, I had to make Jazza some food so he could dirty some. Unfortunately, at first I made him a sandwich, and I didn't realize until it was too late that doesn't use cutlery at all. So I put a bunch of buffalo sauce on it so he'd have to eat it with a spoon to not waste all the sauce. And that did the trick, and I used the sauce spoon to throw away the scab, and that was that. Hey everyone, it's Nando Sam here. I want to apologise for the previous segment, as that was supposed to go in my upcoming top 5 worst experiences doing dishes video, and I accidentally put it in here because I saved the file in the wrong folder, and I usually just take everything I have in order and put it in the timeline. Unfortunately, I'm just feeling a bit too tired and I don't want to make the segment I was going to here, so I'll just tell you the number 2 spot goes to the graphic scene in Ken Griffey Jr.'s winning run for the Super Nintendo, where the umpire berates the children playing the game if they pause for too long. Again, my apologies, and I'll try to be better in the future. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. The number 1 spookiest moment in gaming history goes to Katamari Damacy. You may be thinking, but Nando's Ham, that's not a scary game. But you'd be wrong. I saw someone play this game when I was just 4 years old, and I'll never forget hearing the screams of the people as you slammed them into them. Fuck. hearing the screams of the people as you slammed into him and rolled him up into a bowl. That game is the whole reason I begged my parents to never buy me a game console and just stuck to watching Let's Plays on YouTube. So the #1 spot goes to Katamari Damashi for scaring me so much that I'm one of the only gamers on YouTube that has never played the game. And if that's not a testament to how scary it is, I don't know what is. So I want to thank you all for watching my video, and I would appreciate it if you could give me a 5-star rating and leave a comment. See you later, horror fans, and remember, when you look into the abyss, be careful you don't become a monster. Sweet dreams.